The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Chit Chatting with Jocelyn. I'm Jocelyn, and I'd like to say thank you for joining us here today. My guest today is Jana El Sayeed, and as you can see, she has a crown and a sash. She is 2020's Miss Stratum. I've known Jana for a number of years, although she's very young. I have, and known her mama for a while. And I am a complete supporter of this program. It is a way for young ladies to reach out to the community, to have a platform of what they believe in, helping the community, raising money for Children's Miracle Network, and they also earn scholarship money for their college education. This is not your grandmother's bathing suit competition. Just wipe that out of your memory, wipe that out of your thoughts. This is scholarship education, platforms, and presenting yourself to the world and being the best person you can be. Thank you for coming today, Jana.
I'm excited to be here.
Yay, welcome. So tell everybody, we're just going to pretend like we don't know anything about it. How did you get started in this? What possessed you to even try?
Well, I was actually a tomboy. I lived and breathed basketball, but I had had a few concussions in one season, and it was getting a little bit hard being 5'2", playing center. So
5'2", being center. You had to jump very high.
I was aggressive, but I was like, but I was also a singer. So I wanted to find another way to compete because I am competitive, and I also was so excited that this would give me the opportunity to perform on a stage again. So I decided to compete in the Outstanding Teen program. So I actually started competing when I was about 16 years old. I'm now 23. So I was hooked that first year. I fell in love with it, and I've been competing ever since.
Wow. So there's an outstanding teen.
Right.
And so you would do that for a number of years unless you won the Miss Outstanding Teen, which then you would have to wait till you were 18, and then you could start with the Miss scholarship program. So you moved from the Outstanding Teen to the Miss scholarship program. So how many titles have you held since then?
A lot. Let's see.
I know you were Miss Souhegan Valley, and I know you were Miss Goffstown.
I think this is going to be my 6th year going to Miss New Hampshire.
Wow, 6 years.
Yes, but I am 100% debt-free from my undergraduate degree, and I'm already earning money towards my doctorate.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Now, I mean, I know this, but I am always shocked when these girls tell me, these ladies, tell me how much scholarship money they have earned, that they are debt-free from college. So there is a reason for this. It is absolutely about presenting yourself and being the best you can and having the most outstanding education. So what do you have your degree in?
I have a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, and I want to pursue my doctorate of chiropractic.
Nice. So that would be your doctorate part.
Yes.
Now, where are you thinking of maybe doing that?
I've actually already been accepted into Sherman College of Chiropractic in South Carolina. I just deferred a year because it really is my dream to become Miss New Hampshire. I was blessed to be first runner-up last year. So
that was so exciting.
So I was really close to my dream, so I had to come back one more year to compete for it.
Good. So deferring for a year. And I have to tell you, if you've never been to a Miss New Hampshire scholarship competition, I have to be very careful that I don't say pageant. Well, pageant is as bad as a beauty queen thing, but it's not. So I have to be very careful. But it is so exciting to see. It can be 18 to 26 and up number of girls competing, and they all have a platform. And a platform is...
So it's actually called a social impact now.
Oh, now it's social impact.
New change. But the social impact is something that the candidate we don't call them contestants. Now we're candidates.
Candidates,
So the
okay.
candidate picks themselves that they're really passionate about. Mine is hashtag Jana for Kids, the butterfly effect. So I really work on improving New Hampshire's youth and building a stronger tomorrow for them. So working with children in all different aspects. The different social impacts vary. Some do heart disease, some do sexual abuse. There's so many different things. It's really whatever that person has a big connection to.
Which is very important.
Right.
Very important. And I like that. So you get to see that. We get to see, well, you do an interview and we don't get to see that, but I've been judging in that, so I know all about it. And it's a pretty intense,
Well, now there's an onstage question, and the onstage question is actually considered a continuation of our private interview.
of the private interview.
So we have a 10-minute private interview at Miss New Hampshire with the judges, and we really get asked about anything and everything.
Everything.
We provide a resume and we provide our social impact statement about what we've done and where we see that going as Miss New Hampshire or potentially Miss America. But other than that, we do get asked about politics, social issues, anything is fair game. And it's really about being able to handle those questions and being able to talk about them and voice your opinion and just staying up to date and current with all those.
Exactly, and not stumble. Although there are some times, I have to say as a judge, that you can see sometimes that a girl gets a little visibly flustered.
Right.
Right. If there's too many questions, if it's too fast and furious. So you back off, and sometimes I've said, looked at the resumes and I've said, so what's your favorite ice cream?
Yes.
So Jana,
We call
what's your
that a
favorite
fluff
ice cream?
question. But the new thing with the social impact and the onstage question is once you have your interview, the person that asked you your first question within that interview actually gets to write down the next question they would have asked you if the time hadn't run out. And then you could ask that on stage in front of the audience. So then the audience really can see how we answer these questions under pressure and get an inside glimpse of what they might have seen if they did see our interview.
So for people that aren't familiar with this or haven't kept up, there have been a lot of changes from 2019 to 2020. So bathing suit is gone.
Yes.
We have the private interview where the first person that asks the question will ask a continuing question on stage. Now, there used to be an on-stage question, but this has replaced it.
So now
as
it's
a
not
continuation.
just about your social impact. Originally, when it was called a platform, you would know that it would be about your platform, but they can do whatever they want with that question.
So that opens it up to a number.
Yes, you don't know what's being thrown at you.
You have no idea. So instead of being sort of prepared for your social platform, anything goes.
But the whole point of the Miss America organization is to be able to talk about all different types of things in front of all different types of people on a moment's notice, because that's what Miss America's job is to do. She's a spokesperson, she's an advocate. So it's really great that, I think it's great at least, that you see that. You see them trying to come up with an answer off the top of their head. And then you can play along in the audience and go, ooh, what would I have said?
Exactly. You could be answering it in your head. So you go from Miss Outstanding Teen to Miss New Hampshire. Now, when you win Miss New Hampshire, you then go to Miss America.
Right.
Now, and this is where the big changes have occurred in the Miss New Hampshire and going into the Miss America. And you were very lucky this year to be able to go, and I know you've gone a couple other times, so have I, but this year you were able to go to the Miss America, which was in Connecticut.
Right.
Because it's been in New Jersey for so many years. It was in Las Vegas, and we used to go there all the time. This year it was in Connecticut. What was that like?
Well, it was great for New Hampshire because we had so many people there
Attending.
for our Miss New Hampshire, Sarah Tubbs. So she had a very loud, actually, we had the largest delegation in the country. So we were very loud for her and cheering. So that was really cool that New England has that opportunity to be able to root on their girl. It's an easy drive. A lot of the states had not seen a snowstorm before, so seeing snow was different for them. It was at Mohegan Sun, so it was great to be there because they did TED Talk, well, kind of like a TED Talk for competition, which I had never seen before, and as I might potentially have to do that at Miss New Hampshire, I really wanted to see that. So they had a minute 30 to sell their social impact. They had to pitch it to you and why they should be Miss America.
Very nice. So is there any shopping at Mohegan Sun?
No, but there is at Foxwoods.
But there is at Foxwoods. Note to Miss America, Foxwoods. We need shopping, especially when there's snowstorms. So what's the deal with evening gowns? So for years and years and years, my favorite part was evening gowns. Who had the most gorgeous gown, the most sequins, the most bling, rhinestones, the style, the color, and I'm one of the ones who's in the audience next to your mom and everybody else, and we're like elbowing each other as we're making notes by each girl. And of course, your mom knows everybody, and I don't know them all. But I'll be like navy or pink or blue. And every time they have a different outfit, I've got notations on there. And it's so much fun. And I heard some rumblings that we might not have that either.
So they didn't have a gown portion at Miss America this year. They actually did their opening number, an evening gown. And then a lot of the candidates, that you were told that for your on-stage question, you could choose what you wanted to wear. So wear whatever you feel like the Miss America job would put you in as that role. So a lot of women decided that they wanted to wear their evening gown during that portion. Miss America was crowned in a gown.
Yes.
We haven't really been told at the state level what we will be doing, so I'm not really sure. But they didn't at Miss America this year.
So that kind of, well, we're in January, and this is the Miss New Hampshire's at the end of April. So that doesn't leave a lot of time for shopping if you have to get a gown.
We know we need a gown, but we don't know if we're going to be scored in it or not.
Scored in it, okay.
The Miss America 2.0 brand is really about how important it is not to just be a beautiful face or a beautiful woman, and it's really about having that heart, that servant's heart, and having a talent and having scholastic achievements and a scholastic dream, and wanting to be that future CEO, wanting to be that doctor,
and following through in everything that you do.
right?
Because not only do you just have your social impact, your platform, you actually have to be working at it.
Right.
You have to be doing it consistently, not the last couple of weeks, just throw in a bunch of things and events that you're doing. It really needs to be throughout the year. And if you're doing you're a contestant year after year, you need to have a resume.
Right.
You need to have that.
Just like in the working world, Miss America's they're really trying to encourage young ladies to start doing that at a younger age, especially in the teen. I mean, when you have a 14-year-old that feels comfortable interviewing in front of a panel of adults, that's great. And then when you get into the Miss, you're really ready and you feel determined and you have that social impact that you've been working on potentially for years and expanding upon and really networking. It's great when I can see someone say, oh, I met you at this event or I met you at that event. A lot of people my age cannot say that. And I feel so comfortable talking in front of people.
So imagine, moms and dads, that your child participating, your daughter participating in the Miss Outstanding Teen or the Miss, can you imagine the book reports? That would be no anxiety. I mean, just to put it on a very basic level, also be earning money for college scholarships is mind-blowing. It's phenomenal. And there is the academic grade aspect to it that you need to have that. That it's definitely a part of everything you do.
Right.
And people just don't think it is. They think it's just, the pretty girl and she talks nice and wears nice clothes, and it's way, way more than that. It has been for a number of years, but it's really coming to fruition now.
Yes, they want a speaker. They want someone that will represent the brand and the organization and be out in the public doing good every single day. So my biggest piece walking into Miss New Hampshire this year as Miss Stratum was I'm living each day as if I'm already Miss New Hampshire. I say yes to absolutely everything, and I'm trying to get myself out in the community as much as possible.
So when you say you go out in the community, I know there's events that are set up. Tell us about some of the events.
We have a lot of great sponsorships and connections with different organizations throughout the state. We have a very good relationship with Millennium Running, so you might see me singing the national anthem at a lot of those races, or title holders holding the break tape. That's a great relationship we have. We were just at the Salvation Army toy shop helping families book out toys for their families, so that was a lot of fun. So throughout the year we have different IHOP Pancake Day is another huge one, but we have different events that we all go to as a sisterhood and really promote and get into our community. And then it's also going that extra leaps and bounds of when you have a local title, trying to get in that community. So my biggest thing this year has been working with Stratum Fire and Stratum PD. They're great and they love children and they love making a difference. So I participated in the Stratum PD toy drive, and then I was in all of the parades for Stratum Fire, and I participated in one of their breakfasts.
Nice. I love that. So out there doing your thing, promoting your social platform. So did you get to ride on the fire engine?
I did, on the top of it.
See,
there's perks.
There's perks, definitely. Riding on the fire engine. Did you get to get in the cruiser?
I haven't been in the cruiser yet,
There-
but
yeah.
I've been driven in the fire truck, and I've gotten all the sirens, so.
That's fun. That is lots of fun. So, all right, so it's up in the air whether you're going to be judged in evening gown for the
Right.
Miss New Hampshire, but we'll find that out. We'll definitely have you come back and tell us that. So is there a Miss Teen Stratum?
Yes,
Outstanding
I have an
teen?
outstanding teen.
So you have a sister, a little baby sister.
And ironically, we were both first runner-up in our state pageants.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And she's blonde and blue-eyed. We're little
wow,
twinsies.
so perfect little fair.
Yeah.
Little pair. So do you do events together as well?
We do.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So do you have chaperones?
Depending on the event, sometimes mom will come along, especially when I'm with the teen. For Miss events, if I feel comfortable being alone, I will. But sometimes if I'm in Manchester, in the Manchester streets, I'll be like, Mom, want to come with me?
Yes.
And you need the pictures for social media.
So who's going to take the pictures?
Right.
Absolutely. So your talent is singing.
Yes.
I know. I've heard you. We've got a couple of incredible songs that are forever saved on my my iPhone. That somebody comes up and says, "Do you know?" And I'm like, "Yes," and I'll play it. So that's fun to do. Working hard for what you're going to do this year.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a surprise. I can't say it.
I'm not going to ask.
But
I know better.
It's locked in, and I have my track, and I'm working on it.
Fabulous. And do you have your costume?
I don't, but one of the great things about being Miss Stratum, Miss Exeter, Miss Kingston, or Miss Seacoast is when you win a local, you have directors, and the director that I have, she actually has her own business, Tagate, and she creates custom talent pieces, whether it be a dancer, a baton twirler, or a singer. So I'll have
she's
a
in charge of that.
custom-made gown.
Oh my goodness. Who could ask for more?
It's so exciting.
Who could ask for more?
They're stunning.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. And you can participate. You can help with the scholarship programs. You can reach out to any of the local title holders and help them have an event, raise some money, and it all goes to scholarships that they hand to the girls. Tell me about Children's Miracle Network and how Miss New Hampshire and Miss America pairs with them.
Sure. So they are a great connection that we have, and we are able to go into Boston Children's Hospital for Princess Day and do different things with Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We participate in IHOP or Dairy Treat Day. I am actually a Children's Miracle Network story myself. So
tell us. I love this story. It's sad, but it is the greatest story that you've ever heard. I mean, talk about the perfect person to follow through with this. Go ahead.
I was actually born with persistent pulmonary hypertension and meconium aspiration, so very, very sick lungs, in other words. I was actually airlifted to Chad, but Chad didn't have the resources and Boston Children's did, so I was hand-pumped oxygen in an ambulance all the way from Chad to Boston Children's Hospital. I went code blue upon arrival. My mom always says I knew I was in the right place and I could finally let go and rest. They gave me a 20% chance of survival if I went on ECMO. And if I were not to go on ECMO, I was probably going to pass. So, of course, my mom said, yes, do whatever it takes. I was on ECMO for 3.5 days, and it pretty much circulated my blood outside of my body for me and did the work of my heart and my lungs for me. I had 2 tubes put into me. It actually destroyed my carotid artery, but being a baby, I was able to learn how to reroute oxygen. I have a hip deformity from it, but I'm alive. So it was huge. And growing up, I was always upset because I was never going to be a cheerleader. I wasn't flexible enough to be the best dancer. And it really hurt me that I wasn't like other kids. It was about when I was 13, I think, when I really realized, wow, I'm so lucky to be alive. I went to an ECMO reunion and I was looking around at other children who were in wheelchairs or were deaf or mentally challenged, and there was all these different children with all these different obstacles in their lives, and I was so fortunate that if you look at me, you would never know.
Right.
So that was when it really clicked for me that I had been given such a gift, and I wanted to start raising money for Children's Miracle Network, and that was way before I even started competing. So I've raised well over $33,000.
$33,000?
Yes.
Yourself? Wow.
I created the first dance marathon in the Northeast for any high school, and we did that for 2 consecutive years, and that raised a lot of money. And it was a huge thing for me just because I wanted to have that legacy, and I wanted to give back to that hospital that gave me my second chance.
That is an absolutely brilliant story. I love that. And I think every time I see you, I think of that and Code Blue and down to the hospital and being in the absolute most perfect hospital you can.
Right.
Now, Miss America does fundraising events for CMA as well, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so there's different events. So if you see any of these lovely ladies representing any of the local towns in New Hampshire, be sure that you reach out and you make a donation, because it's going to go to Children's Miracle Network, and that at any other events that you reach out and you help the scholarships grow. If you have a business, take out some business ads. You can reach out to any one of the girls and take out an ad. You can make a donation in the name of someone that you love, or any kind of social impact. You can make a donation,
Right.
and all of it will go to the scholarships. So there's much that we can do as an audience, and we can reach out and help all of you, and just keep this going. We want girls in college. We want them debt-free. We want them to be able to have a full resume. We want you to be able to go on a job interview, all those things.
It was the best thing I ever did was getting involved in this program with over $35,000 in scholarship and still growing. There's different opportunities as well. For example, Sherman College of Chiropractic has an in-kind scholarship. So if I were to win Miss New Hampshire in April, I'll actually have my doctorate debt-free as well. So there's all these different opportunities.
So that you would go to college for free because the scholarships would cover it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
We give over $75,000 away at the state level between the different amount of girls competing. So it all starts with your local title. You can Facebook search Miss in whatever your town is, and most of them will be represented in some way. You can go to missnewhampshire.org and click on the local title holders or local programs, and that'll have a list of all of the competitions and the dates. Reach out to us. We truly are a sisterhood. We want to get more girls involved. We always say, if we have friends or we have different people with talents, if you have a talent, if you care about your community, this is the program for you.
Absolutely.
Someone that doesn't have a talent or doesn't think they have a talent, I would say our Miss America won Miss America with a science experiment.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was watching and it was amazing. And I think the 3 judges were sitting there watching this
Elephant toothpaste.
this goo explode.
Right.
Controlled, not like all over the place, but just oozing huge amounts coming out of those little containers. And I sat there going, that's the most amazing thing I have seen in a long time. So never say you don't have something that you can share with anybody. It doesn't have to be a talent, but something that you can share. And she was all about science.
She was.
She was all about science.
Which is another big piece of Miss America is STEM. We are STEM ambassadors and really advocate for children to get involved in STEM, especially young girls, trying to make sure that girls know that they can be scientists. And that's going to be Miss America's huge goal this year. But we've seen different talents. We've seen monologues. We've seen speed painting. If you love something, you can figure out a way to incorporate it as a talent.
Exactly.
So that should not defer you from competing in this organization. And that's what 2.0 is all about. It's making sure that every single person knows that they can be Miss America.
Totally inclusive. Absolutely. So when you went to Connecticut, what stood out to you as the biggest change? A, the biggest change, and then B, the most remarkable that you said, wow, I can really see this taking us forward?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that I've heard from my community is, oh, I would never do a beauty pageant. That's a huge piece. They don't want to do a beauty pageant, and it's really not anymore. And when you listen to these young women speak about all they've accomplished or talk about social issues or speak their mind, you're saying, wow, that's relatable, because everyone else does that on a regular basis, and you just don't realize that that's what it takes. You just need to be an educated woman, and I think that that's what they're really going for. They want a strong, opinionated, educated woman.
I like it. The interview outfits, has that changed at all? Or is that still your personal preference and how you want to present yourself?
Personal preference. If you feel more comfortable in a pantsuit than a dress, go for it. If you don't want to wear heels, go for it.
Exactly. And we saw that exactly just this past December, that there were a number of ladies that were in pantsuits, that were not in heels, and it was very refreshing. And I have to say that in years and years of doing this and watching it and judging, that I thought I would have a little shock.
Right.
I thought there'd be a little bit of, disappointment, and there wasn't.
It's because it's a modern day woman.
Yes.
We're shying away from what used to be. It's not as much about teasing your hair. It's not about big
It's
makeup.
not big hair anymore.
No, it's not.
Which is nice. There was a lady that had a very nice, very short haircut that I just thought, wow.
Miss Georgia, first runner-up, had a very short haircut.
Yes.
I absolutely loved her.
Yes, she was very sweet. I have to agree with you. So audience-wise, so you say New Hampshire finally got to have the most amount of people. I'm so excited about that because 9 times out of 10, it's so far away.
Right.
Because I remember going to Las Vegas, it was so hard for everybody to get there. And New Jersey is not so far, but very expensive. So I'm super excited to think that we might be holding this on the East Coast and having
More often, yes.
Yes, yes. So it's not all you Southern gals. It's going to be the Northeast. Just telling you. So in the 2 minutes that we have left, what would you? Well, let me ask you first. What about little girls? Young ladies, so say 6 and up, is there a place for them?
There's a Princess program that goes side and side with Miss New Hampshire, so you can go on Miss New Hampshire Scholarship Program's Facebook page to keep a lookout for that. They get to do a fun dance number. They get to be with us backstage. That's a great opportunity. I will actually be directing the Talented Teens this year at the Outstanding Teen pageant, so there is still time if you want to go to the Miss New Hampshire Outstanding Teen Facebook page and contact Patty. She's the state director. She could probably still squeeze you in if you wanted to work with me over the February break. But there's a lot of opportunities
I like that.
for
And then
girls
the
of all
princess
different
is a little
ages.
bit younger.
Yes.
And they do the
They're with us at Miss
they're
New
with you at
Hampshire.
Miss New Hampshire. So if you're interested in doing that and finding out what it's all about and putting on some pretty little dresses and dancing on stage with the girls,
Right.
this is the time to reach out and
Yes.
find out about that. So how many girls are we going to have competing this year?
I think it's 25.
Okay, because I was thinking, I think it's quite a few, not as many as last year, but that's amazing.
Yes.
That is truly amazing. Plus the teens. So when is the teens competition?
The February vacation weekend.
February vacation week, and then the misses are the April vacation week.
Yes, and Miss
So-
New Hampshire will be crowned on May 1st, I believe.
Nice. I like it. And then Miss America is the following year in, we don't know yet.
No.
In we don't know. All right. So this has been absolutely wonderful having you come here and talking to us about the scholarship program. Please reach out to Jana and anybody in your local area and help raise money for scholarships, raise the hopes of these ladies, and get them to the college of their choice is the most important. Thank you for joining me, Jocelyn, on Chit Chatting, and thank you, Jana, for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.